Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League. We are in the midst of our Score Esports hot match of the week between Virtus.Pro and PENTA Sports. And we return, as I said before the break, to the fateful site. I believe it was the last map in the series of the relegation match, Cash, which went 16-3 in favour of PENTA when it was...
I think it was the first one.
Was it?
I think Cobble was the last one.
Okay.
And Cash was the first one, but yeah, it was the 16-3 one.
Not good.
For PENTA, which was, well, surprising to say the least, but we've seen surprises from VP on this map, like the 16-0-1.
They're definitely an up and down sort of team on this one. And the good thing for PENTA on this one going into it is that it actually has a lot more options to be aggressive on the CT side, like we discussed before, right? Cobble's definitely not one of those maps. It's not like your Dust 2s or your Cashes and Mirages to some extent as well. You actually have options on Cash that you go aggressive to start the round. You have an AWP for decent spawn. He can go towards A storage. He can go squeaky door. He can go aggressive towards B. Cobble, you're very limited. You have that one peak maybe towards upper platform and none long A, and then maybe middle as well, but it's still very predictable. It's hard to contain someone who's in very good form on the AWP and has decent spawns to actually lock them down. So this is a chance for PENTA, I feel like, to have some retribution and actually show up and maybe show as they can play on the CT side especially.
So a few more avenues of approach here for PENTA as well, if they want to come from maybe some more unexpected directions or angles. We know Virtus.Pro is a team who likes to take a lot of mid control on this map. We often see players like Taz and Pasha to some degree will push in towards mid under the cover of smoke and set up there as well. PENTA are a team who likes to go aggressive. Will this be a tripping point for them here? I don't know if we really see them sort of on the T side sort of double smoke mid and try and isolate players or do anything overly intricate here. I mean, can we conjecture as to any interactions that we might be seeing here between the styles of these two teams on this map? We've talked about PENTA, but obviously Virtus.Pro needs to be considered.
I mean, to be honest, we haven't seen that much of PENTA. They haven't been in the Tier 1 scene for a while, so we have to wait and see what they have in store. We also have to remember they changed the player only recently, so there's also the matter of how prepared they are with the new stand-in. So I think that all things considered is going to be, more than anything else, PENTA initially stopping VP, not allowing them to get off to a maybe 5-0 lead or something of the sorts, because if that happens, I think it's going to be just a replay of Cobblestone. They need to make VP take a step back and earn some respect, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up, because we saw Virtus.Pro more than happily waltzing onto the A site frequently when we were on Cobblestone here. Obviously, Cash has a few of those corners and positions where you can play from an economic disadvantage or with pistols, for example, and actually sort of make them bloodier rounds here.
Yeah, so in terms of that, the middle discussion you brought up, like you don't necessarily have to challenge the CT side towards middle. You can leave that open. If you have strong AWPers available, you can actually play a very defensive setup play from the quad area, watching towards highway, someone in the vents, for example. So if VP are going for a very aggressive game, they're trying to take middle all the time, and you feel like you can't challenge them right now, you can rely on setups and have more defensive strategy going into that one. So there's options on both sides of the argument, right? So you can go very aggressive, go for the first picks and lock down a team that's very set piece orientated, look for that first kill. But then you obviously have the options for someone like VP, who just goes for kind of defaults, boosting someone out, trying to work picks. You don't even have to give them the option. Some teams actually don't like that at all. If you're not facing them and you're actually giving them the middle control, that can actually be a disadvantage to some of these teams that rely on the opening kills. It's just like they get the mid control and it's like, okay, well, it's still a 5-on-5, time ticking away, and they're trying to work out what the next points of control is. And if you don't give it to them, that can actually be an advantage for the lower teams to actually play a little bit more defensive and have these kind of tactical advantages in that sense. I'd like to see that from PENTA, to be honest, because judging from today, they don't seem like they're up to the challenge of actually out-aiming these guys. So maybe that's the way to go.
It was at Barcelona where we first started to see the team that were then known as G-Bots actually step into the spotlight a little bit more. We saw some good play from a lot of those guys. It was Mixwell that went to Optic, and Lowell is a player I want to talk about a little bit more here, what little we can glean from PENTA's previous performances, because they brought him onto the roster, seeing how he performed specifically at event. I mean, what's your take on that, guys? You were at Barcelona, I believe? Yeah, I mean, you saw him there, and you sort of seen a little bit of him now and how he's tracked along with PENTA. How do you take his temperature, I guess, as a player developing now in a foreign roster?
I don't think there's been enough for us to really gauge, you know, where he's at. I think we need to see more games because, you know, in a game where you lose a half 14-1, there's really not a lot you can expect from any individual. I mean, from any individual player. At that point, you just got crushed as a team. So I think that during this season of Pro League for PENTA, if they don't change the roster or anything like that, for them, more than anything else, it's a lot of experience. It's them getting back into the groove of playing against the best teams in the world. And for some of the players like Lowell, like maybe Stefan, Mike X, for them to get used to this level of play, right? So maybe you can look forward into the future, and after getting a good feel here, after they learn a couple of tricks themselves, maybe you can expect for them more. But in this particular season, I think it's mostly going to be just a learning experience for them.
Yeah, I think this is perfect. Pro League is one of the best leagues you can get into to play against the best opposition in the world. Obviously, they're the complete underdogs, I'd say, in this league, obviously coming from Premier as well. But this is a chance then to work out what they need to change in their game, whether this is the lineup that's going to work for them, and trying to adjust their setup. Like Janka said, it's not like we cast or analyze these guys every single day. It's difficult to keep track of these lower end teams of doing the job we do. So watching them in this league is going to be perfect. We'll just see what they're going to do and what they're going to be bringing to the table. Like I said before, like it's normally the lower teams or the tier 2 teams that have more of these innovative strategies. They have more time to work on the kind of set pieces of the game and have these crazy executions that no one's seen before because they have so much more time and they're not at events every weekend. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. And sometimes if you don't have the firepower to go head-to-head with these kind of guys in the duels, that's the kind of stuff you maybe need to be falling back to and trying to throw that at them. We didn't see much of that, obviously, with this kind of result on Cobble.
Yeah, and so often we saw Virtus.Pro, and you were mentioning it off air as well. At this point in the game, when there were 8 rounds, 9 rounds up, it's a matter of let's just go away. Let's just, nothing intricate there to be set up here. So perhaps we're going to be able to see a little bit more from Penta in this particular game. We did have Natu on a blood pressure monitor in the break. It seems to have gone back to normal, or as normal as possible. So we're going to get them back now on camera for you. It's going to be Pansy and Natu taking us into cash.
I like how the old man jokes are coming in again.
What do you expect? You've been away a little while. You've just come back in. You got to expect it. You okay, though?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
You've got your cane hung up over there.
We'll deal with this afterwards.
Right. Okay. Gets to slip around and starts chasing them around. No, coming to Cash, though, a bit of a different beast to Cobble, of course. Let's talk through the win conditions that Penta need to go through to at least get a close game out of this. Because, as said, Cobble was a blowout. It looked relatively closer at the end scoreline-wise than it probably was throughout the game. Some of the rounds were quite close, but they didn't win them out in the end, which is the main part. What do they need to come into Cash with to even stand a chance here?
I think individually speaking, my guess could be the catalyst that Penta needs, because I've seen him actually do a lot of good things on this map. Aggressive opping, just pushing B holes, just taking hold of middle, just basically being everywhere on the map. That's, I think, a fundamental part of being a really good aggressive opper, is to be able to attack on basically any part of the map and just have your timing spot on. But I feel like if he can rise to the occasion, you never know with Virtus.Pro. I think Virtus.Pro is a kind of a team on Cash that just sets to disappoint a lot of times, because we expect a lot from them on this map. They're really good in the mid-round situations, which is a very key element of this map. But it has to be a map where they're really up and down.
Yeah, and this is just your classic B split coming in for Penta here. Should be quite comfortable. Taz, though, getting away with murder. I don't know how he's not been spotted out in this position. Going to find 2, and that's all you can hope for in those sort of spots. Bit of a one and done, but he gets all the information required. They now know it's a full-on B hit. No fakes being sold here, and that bomb should be going down. But Penta do get the site for themselves, and they have 3 players positioned for this retake. The Virtus.Pro is trying to build.
It's going to be a hard retake on Viali. He's already coming in, Snacks with a kill as well. And now Tassin is very low on HP. Back aside, that grenade could be all she wrote for him. And that's exactly what it is. That's a one-on-one, Snacks versus Stefan. But Stefan with a nice headshot to close it out. Penta with a 1-0 lead, just plowing into that B-bomb side, making it a 3-on-2 after plant situation.
Yeah, just nice and basic stuff from Penta. All you need to do, go through the motions here. And to be fair, something we wanted to see from the desk, these set pieces that certainly can be built into this map. You see a lot of these kind of quirkier plays. Could be something they've worked on. Penta no strangers to this map as a collective. However, as said, with the new addition, could change a couple of things up here. Let's see what they go for into this round. Just like a quick boost towards mid, just in case there's a bit of a stack or someone trying to play close. It should be Snacks, but he didn't get far enough to be particularly hurt by that grenade. But it is a very light investment here from Virtus.Pro.
Very important for Penta as well to pick that pistol round up. Because, remember, they went down, 11 rounds in a row on Cobble, so getting that first one here could be massive for them and the further confidence. And now they're taking it very slow here, just waiting for Virtus.Pro to make a move, who have invested quite heavily into this. They have the CZs and Deagles in play, 3 people with armor as well. My guess is going to spot Snacks, but still, nothing really happening here.
So Virtus.Pro put 3 players towards mid initially. Neo's now gone over towards B. They're just playing incredibly deep. Both teams playing quite passive just to see if anyone's doing something fast.
The one issue that I have right now is that Penta really doesn't have any Molotovs. Something that, you see a lot of teams on T side on the 2nd and 3rd round have, because it's so easy to just Molotov those corners where the CTs are usually waiting for the Ts to come in.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro are at least reading this well so far. They have 4 players towards A. With these pistols can do damage. And without the mollies to clear out the corners, 2 smokes here. This could be quite deadly. And look at Pasha already gaining ground. He already knows that there's barely anyone in mid. they must be towards A in some form. So Virtus.Pro can play into this perfectly. The rifles are, of course, with Penta. That's what they've gone for rather than the mollies and the lighter investment, but there's still danger afoot. Taz finds one, Neo comes up with another, and they still haven't cleared the site. There's still 3 players here, and Pash is closing in from the back lines. They need to get these kills going up for them because there's only 18 seconds left. Penta have left this down to the last couple of seconds. Lol's locked into the site. They can't rotate out of it, and Pash is going to wait for the bomb as well. That's smart. Bialy now drops it anyway, and timing comes to everything. 8 seconds, and they don't know where Pasha is. Pasha comes around. If he could have stopped. Oh, nicely done in the end with the plant just around the corner. That could have been everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, it pretty much played out the way that I was explaining. You want to have those Molotovs. If you A side is a very viable option in an anti-eco situation, or against a half force buy, or even a full force buy when you have the Molotovs. You Molotov the MBK corner, back of quad boxes. You do also the forklift, and then you smoke off the common like highway spot, and then flash in and just plow together, make it that much harder for the CTs. But lack of Molotovs made it that much harder for Penta.
Yeah, a bit of an all-in just B rush coming out from both sides. It's going to be a bit of a bloodbath here, to say the very least. 1 found for Virtus.Pro so far, and no more. Mike is going to pick up a kill there with a Mac-10. Stefan didn't quite make it on towards that board, but still they recover the rifles, spread it back out. And Penta do well to start off with. This is what they needed, that big start. Now they've got the AWP out. Everything's looking like they can at least put up a very competitive game here. But Virtus.Pro, a decent buy for themselves again, though.
Stefan decides to upgrade to an AK-47. I was waiting if he's going to actually keep that Mac-10. Had he done that, that would have indicated of something very fast from Penta. But now they have an AWP in play for Mike S. So that might be an indication of them taking it slow, just trying to get that first pick, and then play it off from there. It seems like pressure is being applied towards the B-bomb side. It is 2 of the Penta players there. One is holding middle, and rather 3 towards B, and 1 holding A.
Okay. Now, Pasha could be pretty easily picked up here. He's very isolated. Taz was playing this earlier. It's a bit of a tough spot to sustain yourself in. It's very rare you escape out of this one. The smoke won't allow him to cross out either. There's a gap on that, so they'll see it if he does try and make a bit of a mad dash. He should check this.
They definitely should.
Doesn't make it out in the end. Neo's actually going to find him. This is a really nice beginning for Virtus.Pro. Oh, my word. And again, Neo, if only he knew. Crystal's down to 4 HP.
It's a great start for Virtus.Pro, and that's going to be just insult to injury right now. Crystal with 4 HP left, just waiting for that Molotov to go away, but Snacks is going to get that kill on Tassin. Just 1 by 1, Penta getting picked off. And that's not working out at all. Penta was banking on making an initial kill towards the B-bomb set and just make a play off of that, but not able to contribute on that front.
Yeah, it does seem as though they don't quite know what to do after that little bit of a feed kill towards mid, a bit unnecessary. Now Pasha again, still not giving away this position. He's just gonna be waiting out as long as, oh my God, really? Really? You are on his head, lol, come on. And now Mike S in a 1v3. This is a tough situation for any AWPer, and he's not gonna have much more luck than anyone else would. So Taz gonna just put him down, and now they get the double AWP.
Usually,
what a lackluster round there.
Exactly. Usually teams have kind of a rhythm of how they want to, if you want to take over the vent room, the checkers area, and then you smoke off that entrance to B, and then you Molotov under the vent, and then you check behind that box that Pash has spent most of that round at, and then, you know, you kind of have this rhythm going on there, but they really didn't have anything. They just spent a couple of Molotovs, and that's it. They threw 1 to the back boxes with checkers and 1 under the vent, and that's about it.
Stefan just walked through the smoke at mid, somehow gets away with it, gets himself over towards the vents quite early on. Tarsin's, I think, out in mid as well. So a good start from Penta towards mid, but you can look at Virtus.Pro instantly, just giving up mid control. They're like, okay, well, let's fall back and hold the exits, and you can see why. They're regaining map control elsewhere in the form of Pasha on towards B and Snacks towards Squeaky.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of ground gained right now. Snacks getting that information. He doesn't see anyone outside of those A holes, but as we can see in the minimap, it's going to be a lot of attention towards middle. Pasha, though, with that kill, and a bomb is down in B holes. There's a Molotov in the way right now, too, so that's going to be a lot of time spent away from Penta.
Oh, Crystal. Oh, Crystal. He does eventually get the shot on Snacks. That could have been so much worse, but they regain some footing into this round. Some, and I mean a very minimal sum. They can make presence through vents. Has backed away initially, but he will follow up with a kill towards Stefan. Predicts the follow-up, but Tarsin will find it. So back down to a 3v3, but the bomb is the issue. It's in such a bad position for Penta. I don't think they can get this without a fight. Neo's holding from T-spawn, so he's got the cross towards it. You've got Pasha then being baited into it, and that's shut down. Absolute shutdown from VP.
Yeah, Pasha even connected to the second guy through the first guy, who was down to 14 HP. And that's about it. But yeah, again, that was just smart play from Virtus, really. I mean, they lost mid control. They had a player push door, had a player push B holes, and well, that's pretty much so much information gained. And then even the bomb dropping down into the B holes, as I think it was Mike Assa who had it and went down. And that was pretty much settled for that round.
So does this... I'm looking at Penta's point of view here, and again, good start, but once those gun rounds came out, you saw Virtus.Pro just being so
very
dominating.
lackluster, yeah.
We haven't even seen a real default expecting that aggression. We've seen this kind of quirky-ish plays, but that seem flawed a little. You know, they seem to be stumbling over the kind of building blocks that they could be going through.
Yeah, exactly. The first round especially showed that there was a lack of some kind of a, I guess, just a structure into how they play it. I mean, if you want to take over B halls, then you can have that structure of what you smoke off and what you Molotov, and then how you initiate afterwards. But now, it is going to be a save for PENTA. Crystal already down, so is Stefan. Well, so is Lowell. So just Mike S and Tassin left right now. Virtus.Pro just trying to keep it as clean as possible to build that economy.
And so far, this is quite a drastic change from, let's say, the first map in the fact that really, they're not losing players. They're not even letting them get close to these sites at the moment. Before, when they were playing up against, you know, an anti-eco or anything like that, you know, when they were coming into it, there were a couple of exchanges, a couple of kills, probably more cobble than just, you know, Virtus.Pro's attention towards the map, but they are not losing out on much here. The economy's starting to get a little bit better. Bialy's looking quite good for money. They've got a little bit of buffer here. For PENTA, though, they need to turn this around quite quickly.
They're just not giving themselves opportunities for trade kills. That's it. I mean, they're just going into situations where they're going to be isolated. Virtus.Pro is happy to take those kind of situations, picking them off one by one. And yeah, and Virtus.Pro really good at reading situations, when to push, where to push. PENTA just not ready for it right now. For so far, at least.
Yeah, they can turn it around. You know,
It's a lot to play,
when you have someone like a coach in the back lines as well, be able to see these sort of things. These are the sort of fundamentals you should be able to spot out. They should be able to be aware of and just, you know, adjust on the fly a little here and there. This could be a late mid-take possibly. They still got 2 smokes there towards the players on that sort of side of things. Lol's got one as well. But already Crystal just about being able to back away from this, but he can't escape Sunroom, so he's very, very isolated. It looks like the kind of crisscross smokes towards mid are going to come out, but Crystal has to stay alive. Otherwise, he'll be pinned down and get completely irrelevant. You can see instantly Virtus.Pro want to take control back elsewhere on the map. You've got the flex towards B, the flex towards A. They do not allow that mid control to be taken without an answer. And they find it wherever they can. But the big player who could change this maybe is Tarsin. He can make those players when they may feel a little uncomfortable, maybe make them fall back a little towards site. But then again, Lowell and Stefan are in mid, not really getting much ground gained either. Yeah,
I mean, basically PENTA hasn't really been able to do anything, and they've spent most of their utility, only have 1 smoke, a few flashes and a grenade to work with, so that doesn't really give you a lot of options. That's going to be that 1 smoke. Spent on highway, Bialy gets the kill. Tazin goes down, and now it's going to be a 5-on-3. Bialy, though, going to go down by Mike S. So that's an opportunity for PENTA.
Snacks. That position is perfect. He spots out the bomb's now down. Lol and Stefan would have to cross up through highway if they want to get here. And again, that cross is being watched by Taz, and you've got Snacks, and you've got Neo. These are, you know, these situations, these kind of 2v4s are being played out very nicely from Virtus.Pro, making it almost impossible for PENTA to find a favorable trade in this. And at the moment, just those early kind of rounds, well, early minutes in the round, shall I say, are just not going well for PENTA.
No, this is not a way you're going to be picking up any rounds, PENTA. I mean, you're playing against a team that are superior individually, and also they're better at reading situations. So PENTA needs to be an initiator at this point. They need to have some kind of a set plan going on. But so far, it seems like someone's calling, okay, let's wait for a minute, see what Virtus.Pro does, and then when we have a smoke and a few flashes left, let's, you know, try to do something.
Yeah, and even look at the early damage coming to this round. Of course, it is just a bit of a upgraded pistol, a couple of pieces of armor here and there, but it's not going to be fun to play into, and it looks like the smokes we put down towards A to allow the players out of Squeaky. But again, as you said, they have to instigate these sort of things. They have to make these plays happen. They have to be the ones to pull these rounds in a sort of direction, because already it looks as though Virtus.Pro have a good read on this. They already have the players watching this sort of thing. Snack's a little cautious of main. Right to B, so he delays the timing for the main push to come out, sprays him pretty wildly. Let's get a good connection. Bialy will get caught out. That's a big difference. Stefan now finds Snacks. This is better. They finally locked down this site. This was that set quirky piece that we were looking for. A little bit of a different play. Unique smokes coming out, allowing that plant to go down. But can they weather the storm of the retake?
It's going to be a tough one, though. They lose forklift control right now to Neo. And that is usually a key to retaking that A-bomb site. Now it's going to be Taz in here, coming back a quad with that M4. He's going to be the only rifle in play, but still 2 in A main. They may take a that kill happen, and now Taz and Pasha alone here on this bomb site. Somehow they need to try and isolate these kills. They get to Crystal with the kill onto Taz, and now 1-on-1 with Pasha. It's just diffusing, and not gonna get it though. Crystal with the kill. Pick up the op, and now Penta comes in with a round, which was essentially a save. Just Tech 9s, a couple of armors, just a couple of smokes to play with. Not a heavy investment, and that A-side plow works perfectly.
Yeah, finally we get to see a little bit of a set play from Penta that maybe Virtus.Pro weren't particularly ready for, or they were actually, looking in the right places at the right time. Just the shots were coming in there thick and fast. Stefan being actually a bit of a forerunner in that. Mike S could be watching for that B push out. Lovely little angle as well. And to be fair, there has been a lot of aggression from the likes of Neo and Pasha pushing up. So a valid position. If they can fake a bit of mid-presence, if they can try and play around that, pull out those players, this could be a changing point. Penta can take some control back, but already snacked. Look at the response, though. Virtus.Pro just don't let them take anything.
No, definitely not. And that's going to just play with your head so much. I mean, psychological effect of the kind of pushes they're making. It's just essentially going to affect the whole decision-making you have as a team. And look at this, Pasha also. They've basically pushed the T's down all the way to the T spawn. If you look at minimap right now, most of the T side is in T spawn with minute 10 on the clock. So, I don't know. That's interesting.
All right, crisscross smokes towards mid. That's Lol and Mike S doing it. You can see Tarsin's waiting for a push, Crystal's waiting for a push. So this is them starting to maybe try and read into how Virtus.Pro are approaching it. This is a better approach from Penta, but now they still need to make it stick. There hasn't been that aggression really, because they've got Bialy posted up on that boost towards A, so he's perfectly fine there. He can sit there and watch that for days. They can leave him to that one. But they have now forced Virtus.Pro back to the sides. This is what they wanted. Now they have to make the most of it. They've got 40 seconds left, and they've got to punish Virtus.Pro. I don't know if they can do it, though, as they're left with limited utility. They have one molly, a couple of smokes, a little bit to build into this one. It's a very slow and rather obvious B here. Already 3 players here from Virtus.Pro, but they're still landing the shots. This is great from Penta, finally, but they have to deal with the raid boss. Pasha is still alive on the site, and he gets picked up. That is big. Now the site's open, and it looks vulnerable.
That should be just not even possible for the Seeds to do a whole lot here. The bomb's going to go down. Stacks and Bialy probably going to just go for some exit kills or try to save these weapons. Penta with the beast with smokes, and then taking their sweet time before committing to the bomb site, because Virtus.Pro had a really aggressive presence in those B halls. Penta had to take their time to go through there and make sure that Virtus.Pro wasn't there anymore. Well, as it turns out, they had backed off to the B bomb site, and Penta making the initial kills. And basically just in a matter of seconds managing to take this round. But Snack's still alive, gets a kill. The rest of Penta should probably opt to try and save these weapons, because their economy is still, well, it's not super pretty, but Virtus.Pro also been losing members here and there, so they are not in the clear either.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro might be slightly suffering on this one on the next couple of rounds coming in. They could probably spread the wealth out, but not too much. You can see actually the money is very limited. 2.1 on Pasha, 4K on Neo, decent enough. You've got Taz who can buy. I'm curious what Pasha goes for here. Just okay, a light enough investment. Again, they can get a decent enough buy coming into this, maybe missing out on some of the pieces that have been working, so Pasha on the Mag 7, for example, but he's perfectly adequate on this. You see him on Cobble actually opting to go onto it sometimes over the rifle. So, again, Pasha, not a stranger to this.
At this map, it has a lot of angles you can utilize in Mag 7, and so it is a viable purchase for sure. Stacks, once again, making his way in this A main. He hasn't been spotted in this position yet, so it makes sense for him to try to get that early aggression from that position, but he's not going to find anything because none of the Penta players are there. Neo, though, is going to get a kill on the other side of the map, so Crystal going down. He was the one trying to cause a distraction towards the B-bomb site.
Now, this would be interesting. How do Virtus.Pro wait for this? So they've had limited information from mid, so there could be players up by Vent, there could be players up by Highway. Taz, going to have to try and adjust for this, playing at the back of Connector. The smokes come out, the mollies come in. This is starting to work a little bit better for Penta, but they still need to break into these sites. They lost out on Crystal early by those B halls, so then they've got to be careful of Pasha or Neo pushing up further than expected, and A is still completely under wraps. Bialy in that boost is going to be very, very integral for Virtus.Pro here.
Exactly, and Neo, Pasha, very different positioning. They're not playing back at the bomb side this time around. Pasha is just under the vent now. They're going to be boosting up, but Stefan might be timing this correctly. Well, it works on in the way of Pasha. And the bomb is out of the vents right now. He gets the second kill on as well, before Mike's get a retaliation on both Neo and Pasha, and that's going to be the B-bombs that open. When I say that, though, Tass has already made his way here in the headshot angle. Goes down by Tassin, so becomes a 2-on-2 eventually.
Now, Virtus.Pro this time have a little more utility to play with, and they know that these guys are tagged up. Wondering if they go in on this one. We've got Tarston planting at the back of the box, so planting for basically where Mike S is. Now, Snacks can have a little just check, see if there's anyone, you know, doing anything brazen, anyone being a little bit too brave for their boots. Bialy checking corners, taking his time, going to molly in as well, going to allow Snacks some room to work here, force players out of those very default positions that are dug in. Still waiting on any opportunity to be given here. Not really getting it, but they really are looking for this one. Mike has already found Bialy. This has suddenly gone pretty bad for Snacks. I doubt he's going to make much out of this one. He goes in anyway, gets tagged up, gets put down, and a good round from Penta. Starting to really work out how to get these rounds on Virtus.Pro, and it's working.
Yeah, Mike S, again, he came in, massive 2 kills there. Taz still had an opportunity to close that one out on the B-bomb side, but getting that kill from Penta on the Taz was big as well. And then a 2-on-2 situation just pulled away of Penta. And so you can see, that's going to break the economy for Virtus.Pro. They will have to save Pasha, though, with the max 7 in armor once again. He just likes to do that purchase every single time. Why not?
Why not? You know,
It's Papa's favorite weapon.
If it works, to be fair. And there are ways to play it, as you said. It can work on this map.
Yeah, the ROI on that one is can be very, very high.
Let's see. Virtus.Pro looking for ways to get into this. However, with limited armor, they've got very little to play with, an upgraded couple of pistols here and there. It can work, but Penta have been cautious. And they do have these mollies. They should be clearing out the site. If they decide to hit A, they can coat that site in those mollies, set it ablaze, and they should be able to break through nice and easy. However, Penta being quite cautious, Tarsin hit the shot. He did in the end. Yeah, it gets a little nervous, like, just please connect, rifle. AK, please don't do this to me. But he does, he makes it count, didn't lose out on anything. That's perfectly fine.
Now, like you said, it doesn't matter as much, even if there was an A hit coming from Penta, with Virtus stacking that side because of all the Molotovs they had, but instead they are being very methodical, just taking over parts of the map so far. They've made their way through middle, they have gone into the vent as well, and just waiting for CTs to make a move before committing, but again, time is going to be a factor here. 35 on the clock. So if something goes wrong, even slightly, it could become problematic, but Crystal, with the headshot on the Neo, is going to clear out the bomb site.
Yeah, and Virtus.Pro know they're locked out of this one. There's so little you can do if Penta get really nice after plant positions, which they have ample time for. Plant's going to come in. As you said, it does get a little bit worrying when it comes down to those last couple of seconds, because if one thing's go wrong, you know, if Neo lands, let's say, 2 crazy headshots with a deagle, and we've seen crazier things, so that's when there becomes issues. They can start buying time. The rotate comes out from the rest of VP, but that wasn't the case. You saw the shot come in nice and clean.
Again, that's going to be the psychological aspect. We were talking about how Virtus.Pro is very aggressive, and that's going to slow your T side so much when you know that your opponent might be, you know, be very aggressive at any part of the map. So you just systematically become a lot slower, but what happens is that a little tiny thing can make a difference. I think we all remember Navi at their slowest, when they would hit a bomb site with like 7 seconds on the clock, and then the guy with the bomb would die, and then, you know, a very elaborate strategy would just fall in flames because of 1 kill coming in from the CTs.
It's a dangerous way of playing, but it can work out. If you're that crisp on it, it can definitely work. But we get the decent buy coming back in from Virtus.Pro now. So I want to see their response here, because Penta have certainly taken the reins in this game. It was a good little run from Virtus.Pro in those initial gun rounds. Really started to work it out after that pistol went in towards Penta's favor. Now they need to respond back. They can't allow Penta to get away with much more than this.
Yeah, the massive difference is the trade killing, really. I mean, they've gone down in numbers early on, but then someone's been able to create an opportunity by getting the trades eventually. So a lot more just connected to play from Penta together as a team compared to the first few rounds.
I'm wondering if Taz pushing up in mid is that response to the double smoke, and they want to just be able to get the information if they go for it. Again, though, that double smoke play in mid does work really well at isolating players who've pushed up. However, Penta yet to go for it. They're still posturing towards, you know, still got a couple of players trailing around by A and mid, that being Stefan and Tarsin. I'm wondering where they're going to take this. They still have those mollies. This is to be expected to be one of those slower pieces again.
Seems like it's going to be a B hit coming in for them. I would expect him to just molly the headshot angle, maybe the back of boxes and checkers, and then just smoke off CT spawn and just pop flash and go in. But this is the moment where Pasha's max 7 might just pay dividends.
Certainly could. And any sort of problem that comes in at these kind of slower rounds could certainly be an issue. So the molly goes down. That stops anyone pushing up initially by the box. That's going to keep them at bay. Taz goes walkabout, catches out Tarsin. Now Pasha is unleashed, needs to land the shot. He does eventually, but it's Neo to do the heavy lifting. Finding 2 there. Crystal and Stefan falling to his hand, leaving just Mike S alive in checkers. With 4 players surrounding him in 20 seconds, he can't escape. He knows that. He has to try and take the fight somewhere, and that's not going to happen. Neo was waiting, recovers the AWP, and a well-played out round from Virtus.Pro in the end.
Yeah, the issue really became the fact that Penta wasn't making any noise on any part of the map anymore. So then the flank came in from Virtus.Pro, and then it just became too obvious that the B hit was coming in. And they defended it just accordingly, made it happen. So just a piece of advice for everyone: if you want to make a slow an attack towards a one bomb site, just make sure you have someone creating distraction at all times on another part of the map to make sure it's not too easy of a read for your opponents.
We might finally see Snacks getting some action. He's been pushing A main almost every single round and never seen a soul. Now there's 2 players pushed up, Stefan and Lowell. I think Lowell was anti-flash initially. Stefan still lingering forward, and there we go. Penta get a step in the right direction. They've got 4 players ready at the jump off towards A. If they took this opportunity now and made a quick play off the back of it, they can get the 1v4 pretty much towards Bialy. There's no one there to support him initially. He's buying time, he's showing presence. He's doing the flashes off to slow them down, but no push yet from Penta.
Yeah, and still plenty of utility for Penta to work with, so that was just them trying to bait out as many nades away from Virtus.Pro as possible. Now, it is a 5-on-4 situation. They're just slowing it down, trying to actually make Virtus.Pro rotate off that A-bomb site to have a cleaner entry, but still, we do have Bialy there waiting, and Neil has now joined him on the top of that rate container. It's going to be the bomb down, and still there's going to be 2 low HP players from Penta as well, so that's going to make things that much harder for them to attack the bomb site.
And look at Neo. As soon as he knew he gained control there, he tried to play towards Squeaky. A little bit too brazen.
Yeah.
Crystal's going to punish that.
A little ambitious.
A little too much. And actually, Penta, jeez.
NA Molly.
NA Molly. All right, Penta's going to take the opportunity to get quickly over towards B. They've sold the A very, very well here. Taz started reading into it early, though, and catches Lol trying to play towards mid. Now, the point being, though, the bomb's already en route.
Yeah, and the bomb side is clear, so it's going to be a free bomb plant here for Penta. Crystal taking a duel with Taz. Taz and also on the Pasha, so all of a sudden Bialy now alone here. A round that really seemed like Virtus.Pro was going to take. It is going the way of Penta, but we still have Taz and Stefan, 7 and 10 HP respectively. So if Bialy manages to create some individual one-on-ones here, it's all here to play for.
Yeah, and Crystal's on the long rotate around the back of Bialy. So again, if he can find these 2 quickly, he can go for the full defuse, and I don't think Crystal could get there in time. So Bialy sneaks his way in, finds a first. I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes for this. 3 seconds. It's going to be Tarsin on there first and foremostly. 1 second left. And the bomb's defused. My word, guys. Really?
Not like this. Not like this.
Bialy.
I cry every time.
Like, it... I don't know why they even planted there, though. It wasn't planted for either of the 2 other players. You literally couldn't see it anywhere else. I know they were short on time, but...
The horrible thing is that they had a completely unoccupied bomb site, so they could have planned it anyway.
Yeah. Small mistakes become big punishments, and Taz was already put in his position to try and stop that double smoke play towards mid. This is his prime opportunity, but it depends on a lot of other factors here. Penta have a lot of players towards boost. Crystal's starting to become a little suspicious of this. Maybe wondering what's going on, and Crystal's going to leap through, find Taz, and that's going to open up a world of opportunities for them. Bialy playing on highway, though, could make this a bit trickier to split towards B, where those 2 other players will be waiting.
Yeah, Snacks already pushed door. He's just waiting for any of the T's rotating towards A main. But as we can see right now, they've all pretty much made their way towards middle. There is one in boost right now. Snacks might be spotting him. He does, but so does Stefan. And that's going to be Snacks going down. One unfortunate turn of events for him. And it becomes a 4-on-3. And the advantage is Penta's.
And now Bialy can't leave A. He was desperately trying to get towards connector, maybe support at B, because that's where Penta were sort of posturing towards. Now he can't do that. Now he has to sit here dedicated towards this. And guys, you can boost mid, I believe in you. If Bialy saw that, that would have been hilarious. He doesn't in the end, and they are going to go back towards that A sort of site now. Tarsin's left to sell the B. Tarsin's left to do something with this. He can try and hold highway. He can try and find the fight towards Bialy. But at the end of the day, it comes down to timing now. 30 seconds, and they need to make this one count. It's Bialy who can stop it, as can Neo.
Again, the time is a factor right now. So if Bialy manages to get maybe 2 kills here, it could all just change everything here. He's in a prime position to stop this attack, actually. Does he get the first one? He does. The bomb is down. He makes it 2, so only now down to Crystal. And 10 seconds on the clock, too. He needs to commit with his bomb plot. He's not. Instead, he's trying to take the duel. Now it's 4. And he's run out of time, and a jumping headshot on the Neo. Somehow becomes a 1-on-1.
Do not dare peek. There we go. He does shut him down in, but the jumping headshot. Don't you miss CSGO? You don't want another year in this?
Yeah, definitely not.
My God.
May as well play Call of Duty.
God almighty. Get some jetpacks and some exosuits and just
down.
give up on life, you know what I mean, at that sort of point. You might as well just end it. 7-7. Virtus.Pro pulling it back. They seem to have worked out what was starting to go to favor for PENTA. Now PENTA have started to hit the wall and their money's not looking so great. That boost going to be hindered by the molly. Neo going to position himself towards the fence. And again, we're going to see PENTA trying to break back in, but a bit of a struggle so far. A good T-side from them. Certainly showing them far greater capability than their Cobble game, but tough for them now to just take this further forward.
I mean, judging from the early rounds, they've definitely made it a lot better. It seemed like they started off very disconnected, not really having a lot of flow going into how they played. But eventually they found their flow, and Mike he's been one of the key factors. Once again, he picks up an entry.
Yeah, that's very, very important. That removes all vision away from mid currently, forcing Bialy to pull himself back towards Connect to keep some sort of tab on it. He's a little bit curious as to what they're up to there. And PENTA not going to give away much. One smoke out towards mid, keep him guessing, but it's going to be Snacks again. So much to do. He's got 3 players waiting. Tasked in by Squeaky. You've got now 3 towards A main, and Mike S holding the flank around the back. So this could be very nice from PENTA. They should be able to do something with this, but Tartan allows the first to be picked up. Just playing on his own here. Now the flash comes out from Snacks. Nice pop flash over the top. Just bouncing in towards the side. A little unorthodox there. Now PENTA gets slowed down on the play towards the site. Now look how low they are. Crystal's on 24. Lol on 14. This is still very, very possible. The bomb's down, and Snacks is fighting his way out of this. It's 2v2. 28 seconds left. He knows where Stefan is. He takes the fight and he gets it down. Beautiful play from Snacks there. That was world class, just dancing around the corner of that one. But again, PENTA showing they are far more versed on this map than Cobble.
Yeah, I mean, early rounds didn't seem like it, but then as the half went on, they started playing off each other really well, and they paced themselves, really taking it passive for a while, and then attacked bomb sites together, making sure they were trading effectively.
All right, so the fundamentals seem to be falling in for PENTA. However, there's another half to be played out, and Virtus.Pro certainly can bring a little bit more power on that T-side. So guys, do stay tuned. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back to Virtus.Pro up against PENTA here on the second map of the day. Cobble was a bit of a blowout, but Cash is certainly providing a bit of a show, let's put it that way. PENTA is certainly not going down without a fight. There's been some curious rounds here. And Crystal, with that jumping shot, just CSGO.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
Please
Do you think
tell
I
me.
can talk to Valve?
I mean, you could.
Really?
Just say pretty please.
That's how it works. Pretty please listen to us and stop making that happen. All right, but the scoreline will be 7-8. Favorable at the moment towards Virtus.Pro. They are marginally in the lead. However, Penta looking far more well-rounded on their T side than we saw on Cobble, or the limited amounts we saw on Cobble, shall I say. But again, Taz coming with a CZ first round. Okay, this is interesting from Virtus.Pro. Let's see what they've got here.
Yeah, plenty of utility for them to work with as well. They have a Molotov, 2 smokes, 2 flashes, so as of right now, it seems like it's going to be some kind of actually a split might be in the works here. Or it could be also something towards the event. We'll see. A pop flash coming in middle. Here comes the plow.
CZ first round. I'm still trying to deal with that. All right, Taz, what you got here? One player who can cause issues is Mike S, and no one's checked it. Mike S has complete free get wrecked. Get absolutely wrecked. I would never doubt it again. Taz just beast modes Mike. And now Tarsin, what is this round? I don't know what's happening here. It's ridiculous. And Bialy's now left in a 1v3, and the bomb's for him, I guess.
Yeah, the whole idea there. As this plays out.
Kill on Stefan too. This is ridiculous. Oh, okay. The diffuser's coming in. I never want to see a round like that again because it just makes my brain hurt. I don't know what just happened.
That was cool, actually. Yeah,
it was unique.
Yes, they tried to smoke off that A bomb site, basically having people run through highway and then just run towards car, take over that part of the map and plant towards them, plant towards middle. So if they can then run into Z connector as well, they would have very good coverage of the bomb. So that's a very unique take. I've not seen that previously, but also it almost works out. But Tazin coming in through the smoke, getting those 2 kills, obviously being a key part of the round going the way of Penta.
I think Penta will be left scratching their heads as well after that one. That was
I would be.
I like the theory. I'm pretty sure I've seen one other team doing that plant towards short instantly and trying to play off the back of it. But a 5-man play towards B here from Virtus.Pro. And actually, they've forced a great deal of uncertainty for Penta now. They've really cut back on the sights, and this is where pistols can do their damage. Neo's starting to be I guess a founding father of that right now. Tarsin's already gone down. You've got a bomb plant off the back of it. The nade denies that. Neo can't sustain through that one. Snacks now will be left with the challenge. A bit of an awkward plant here, but who knows with Virtus.Pro? Maybe they've got the craziest wallbang in the world lined up for that. I highly doubt it, and he had to just go for it because that's all he could do. But they do have two rifles now in their hands with the armor against just SMGs on Penta. This is kind of insane, but Snacks doesn't quite land the shot very well there.
Definitely not. No, it's going to be, though, with the Tech-9 getting 1 kill. Doesn't make it 2. Stefan is very low on HP. 6, in fact, and he goes down now. And that was a way more decisive attack towards the B-bomb site than what we saw from Penta in the early rounds. They had their set Molotovs for behind the boxes under the vent. They smoked off.
They checked the box corner.
Yeah, exactly. They really had a rhythm going on there. And they applied a ton of pressure, got the initial kills, and, well, Penta then eventually with those couple of key nades managed to make it really competitive. But it is going to be Virtus.Pro with that second round bye. Take it away.
All right, 3-2 split to start off with VP showing presence over at B. However, the bomb was with Snacks boosting up Taz. So again, these mollies are beautifully placed. Again, it's making Penta having to play positions they're not wanting to. Crystal's just going to go forward, though. Trying to make something happen with that 5-7, not going to get much done. Penta operating on such a minimal amount this round. They only have those 5-7s. A bit of armor as well. You know, LoL's got the UMP with full armor. So, you know, it's certainly feasible to get something out of this, but Virtus.Pro's Canada so far, their approach to this round has been pretty decent so far. They still have those mollies, so you can assume will come into play. You can see already Neo's just trying to clear out this B site, force them to believe that this is still a B hit. Plenty of utility being poured into that, praying someone will just kind of fall into his hands with that MAC-10. However, while this happens, it's going to be an A hit. Simple as you like. Stefan and Lol playing the site, though, they could cause some trouble here.
And look at how much time Virtus.Pro still has to work with. And they've still managed to gain a lot of control here. And Neo is making his way towards the Z connector, actually. Meanwhile, the rest of his team is setting up for that A play. Plenty of nades to work with. Neo now gets spotted there, though. And he spots a player towards the vent, so he's kind of being sandwiched right now. He needs to make a play. He goes down by Tassis Deagle.
Well, he was the expendable man. He was the one with that MAC-10. These are not expendable players, and Bialy and Snacks will find a bit of an answer back, but it took a great deal of damage to get this far. Mike S finds Taz, and now look at Bialy. He's on 2 HP. The bomb's yet to go down, and we've got 22 seconds. A MAC-10 and a P250 can still cause so much trouble here. And there it is, finds one. And now Snacks up against Mike S. Mike S, how are you going to play this one? Oh, beautiful. Just takes his time, crouches down, and he gets the job done with 9 seconds remaining. Well played, Penta. Good positioning and making the most out of that.
Yeah, what a back and forth affair so far. And even Virtus.Pro having all those grenades, having the Molotovs, still now managing to make it a clear work towards the A-bomb side. Instead, it was Penta getting the initial kills and really stopping the initial force from Virtus' push. And there you have it. It's going to be Penta picking that one up. And surprise, surprise, Virtus.Pro decides to go on a force here. 2 smokes, a flash, a bunch of accredited pistols, and AK-47 and a Galil in play.
All right, you can see the molly starting to take effect. Taz and Snacks get melted down. Snacks is one of them in with the rifle. He might have to drop that out to someone soon, but he's going to stick with it. He's already out in mid, I guess. Boost above the smoke, going to pay off. Bialy goes down. And now operating at a huge deficit with limited HP. This should be a shutdown from Penta here, but again, not too much to play with. That nade not going to find Snacks. That could have done some irrevocable work, but not like this.
This is going to be very problematic for Virtus.Pro. Only 1 smoke. Well, they've lost half of their HP on 3 of their 4 players. And, well, they have an AK, Galil, and Tech9 and an SCC to play with, and no utility, really, so it's going to come down to aim duels. Unless they can hit some really crazy shots, it should be Penta's round to win.
Should be. We'll see. It's down to Tarsin and Crystal initially. Mycas will be there. Smoke didn't cover the cross on CT, but Neo's going to find Crystal. Tarsin's the one, though, to be the turret on the site, and he's come up with exactly what you want to be seeing from a player left in that sort of position. 40 seconds remain, and Neo's not going to have a shot of it. Well played to Tarsin there, just doing what he needs to do, which was shutting down 4 players.
Yeah, staying alive as long as possible on the bomb side to begin with is something you need to make sure you have. Just to help your teammates rotating towards the B bomb site to help you out, but then obviously getting 4 kills in the process, yeah, it's going to make things a lot easier.
Helps.
It definitely helps.
10-9. All right, Penta take the lead. Now Virtus.Pro going to have to just respond accordingly by going through the motions on that full-on eco, and we're going to see the 5-man through door.
It's good old.
It never fails.
2 decoys. Why not?
That's it.
Yeah.
I like the lineups too, just to make sure they fall in the very specific places.
They're practicing their smokes.
It is, to be
Make
fair,
sure.
you're not wrong.
Yeah,
It is just a smoke towards upper as well. Why not just make sure they actually work? And they got a bomb down out of this? That's insane. Oh, no.
Yeah, well, that was Penta.
No.
Well, the thought process on this is basically when you're playing against a save, or even a half, but you want to play retake A, just because close range Tech9s, you know how that can work out. We've all seen that happen before. Yeah, this is interesting. Mike, you should get that kill. Well, interesting enough, he does get it, but Snack is going to be there to retaliate. Now, it's only Taz and Bialy left. 2 on 3. They have absolutely nothing to play with. Taz, though, already defusing. Oh, well, getting 1 kill. Does he make it 2? He does. And that's going to be, well, still a successful mission for Virtus.Pro. And just to continue on my point there, is basically what those decoys did is make Penta think there were smokes coming in. And what that initiated them to do is fall back, play passively, and Virtus.Pro gets the opportunity of getting that bomb plant. So very elaborate thinking there from the Polish guys.
Actually really like that. Really, really like that.
But we've seen that from Astralis. Back in the day, they were TSM. They had this thing on train where they would use decoys for yard just to fake out smokes.
Lovely. So we saw the early smoke there going down towards underneath boost just to stop any mollies coming up early on. So if Virtus.Pro did want to get an early boost with Snacks, for example, they have complete right to. That's going to force Stefan to be a little more passive now, be a little bit more careful, and they've given up highway control. And Virtus.Pro very quickly want to work off the back of this. LoL, unsure as to where they're coming from, now has to adjust as too late. Neo's already there, but they don't expect LoL to be so quick towards that truck, but Snacks still lands the shot. They brute force their way through towards ABR. You've got to be careful there. He's the one with the bomb, just crosses through, planting down for main, and you've got to hope that someone's watching that push through. They are. That was Snacks, doesn't land the shot, but he buys the time for the plant possibly to come through.
Eventually.
Shit.
Well.
There we go. There we go. Mike was like, I can molly sight. I know the lineup. It's too late. It's over.
It's already happened. Now, Snacks is just taking a duel he doesn't need to dig. Because they have a 3-on-2 situation right now. And he is in a very wide open position. Gets team flashed, of all things, too.
Just to make it harder.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Snacks is still here as well. Like, don't get me wrong, the other players are holding the push. So Bialy's kind of watching from quad. If they step too far, he would be spotted. But Mycas with a quick shot makes it harder work now for Virtus.Pro, but none to be found beyond that. Mycas needs to back away. He's trying to make it costly, and he might have done a little more damage than they expected, but he needs to back away now. He needs to save his AWP as well. As Snacks doing brilliant stuff there for Virtus.Pro in the end. And they do get the round in the bag. So Virtus.Pro certainly not going down without a fight.
Yeah, now this is the decision-making time for Penta because they know Virtus.Pro's money is quite low, but Penta's money is not pretty either. Now, this is a understandable risk for Penta to make because if they do win this round, that would full reset Virtus, and that would take them very close to winning this map here. But still, quite a bit of utility for Virtus to use here. They've opted to have a little bit. They still have it up on Snacks too.
3-man stack towards B. Is that for the vent boost, or are we just going to see early presence? It
Could
looks
be
like they
just
just want to go
pushing in,
aggressive. Yeah. Crystal can be there. Why can he do this? What is Chris? I don't understand how Crystal can jump in kill so many people.
It must be his hair.
It must be. It's the only logical reason. It must be the hair. Now, Lol's in a good spot, but he could have been pressured from highway. That's the one real nuisance position, and he makes a bit of a meal out of that one towards Bialy, and now trades out for it, but bought time for Mike S to do the damage. That's all he could play for into this. Bialy's seemingly dropped here, so again, might be a little bit of a timeout off the back of this, and Taz can't go for that clean plant now. That molly just hinders that. Now he's in the 1v3. He's got a molly himself and the bomb. And to be fair, Penta, they're not challenging this outright. They are all backed by CT right now.
Yeah, they're letting Taz to make the move. They're letting him even plant a bomb to just have it a retake because they do have 3 alive. So making sure they're not giving any individual one-on-ones to Taz here. He does have a Molotov, and there's another one actually on the bomb site. But he needs to create an opening kill here. That needs to happen, and he's not facing the right position right now.
But no one's seen him do this. So, surely he can't get away with this. There's 3 players. Okay,
Nope.
now he's been spotted as well. That's definitely not going to happen. Crystal with the hair coming out and doing what he can. So another one on the board.
Has a nice flow going there, right? So, you know.
Well, you know, you've got
maybe
Taz with limited hair against Crystal with surplus hair. So it seems that surplus hair gives you more ability in game.
at least mid-air.
All right, we're going to pause. Solid analysis so far from me. This is why I should be analysis caster on hair only. Did you ever see that video where it was like you had to break down by team, like man with no hair with, you know, or like one player with great hair has to be in a team at all times for it to succeed?
And then there's a limitation of how many caps you can have.
Exactly.
as well,
If you have too
right?
many, it just doesn't, yeah, you know what I mean?
work,
That was,
yeah.
that was a solid video. But
Okay.
Bialy's back with us. But so far, this is actually really impressive from Penta, to be quite serious.
Oh yeah, it definitely is, and they've done a good, solid job of just playing so much better together. That's been the thing, really. I mean, because early on they're way too individualistic, and now they are trading off correctly. They're making the right decisions together, and just basically the fundamental Counter-Strike things are just going way better for them than early on. It is very simple.
Well, it's great to see this team coming up with what they needed after that bit of a trouncing on Cobble, to say the least. And these are the smokes we kind of saw before here. So one towards that upper catwalk area, a couple of others probably going to come through. That's between Taz and Bialy. Sets them up from the play, coming through Squeak
And look
quite
at this
nicely.
CT position
And again.
already so very passive. They read this. They knew that the money was very tight on Virtus.Pro, so they just took a very passive position. And Lowell with a nice headshot. One tap onto Neo. And now it's a 5-on-3. Bomb is down though. But now it's a 5-on-2, so very hard for Tease to make anything happen here. Bialy alone against 5 Penta players.
Yeah, this would need a superhuman effort. Gets one, tags up the second, but no more to be seen after the back of that. And I quite like the idea behind this. The plant, incredibly out in the open, and that's why Taz was going to work around mid. You saw it before with Pasha trying to do it. In that previous round, they did something very similar. It seems like a new set piece the Virtus.Pro want to work out, but again, not working with the optimum amounts. Going to get outdone by Penta in that kind of late play through mid from Penta themselves. So Penta in a great position now, 13-10, broke in the back of Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, basically, Virtus has to save this one. They are going with the light investment here for smoke, so that indicates that the potential for some kind of an APs is very high, the likelihood very high, because that's where you can get that plant most of the time.
And it looks like Virtus.Pro are going not necessarily through the motions. That sounds negative. It feels like they're just trying to work this out. You know, this is what people argue is sometimes the best practices in officials in a way. So it's like, okay, let's keep working out this piece. Let's see if we can make it work. Let's see if we can get this going now. Again, though, Stefan sticks around this time. Hinders it massively. Pasha can't get the plant either. And now the Raining 2 shouldn't be able to get away with too much, but the flying CZ, something going to get a little bit of a mark on the board now. But it is just Taz, no armor, and that's dealt with. But Virtus.Pro seemingly just trying out new things.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, it's also a viable option to play that strat out where you invest all those smokes just to get that bomb plant, to have a little bit more cash going into this round. Look at how close it was, too, for Pasha to get that bomb down. And is that a
It was like the
sign?
peace out, yeah.
Yeah, peace out, brother.
Just,
I'm out.
tried.
I'm out. 14-10 for Penta, though. So they are definitely a grasp of winning this so far.
I'm very impressed. And
Closing
again,
distance.
good read from Penta. I don't know if they know it or not. This could be incredibly worrying for Virtus.Pro. 4 players already postured towards going towards B. Tarsin's found Neo. That's going to give away a little bit of the game. Again, though, Neo has been playing towards B on occasion, so they might not fully read that this is an all-in play. But Stefan already boosted up as well.
Exactly. That might be just all she wrote here. But Taz, he's coming through the middle. Now,
Stefan hasn't seen it
yeah,
either.
this is getting a little awkward right now. There's also a player towards the sandbags. Stefan's going to go down. Taz is going to make it a 4-on-4 now. But still, there's 2 players towards the connector, and then 1 here in the sandbags area. So, interesting movement, interesting positioning right now from the CTs.
I think they're trying to read where Virtus.Pro are going, but you do start spreading yourself thin here, and you become a little more at the whim of the T side at this point. But Virtus.Pro not rushing this either. They know the weight of this round, of course.
Yeah, and well, the A side on Cash is one of the most retakeable bomb sites in this game. Taz with the perfect timing.
Twice now he's gone away with these sort of things, and it's given him so much opportunity. But it's down to Tarsin now to try and do a bit of work, and Taz again. Taz with the timing here. I don't know if he's spotted out Tarsin, which could be an issue amongst itself. So Taz is going to hold mid. I don't think they expect someone like Tarsin to be here. They certainly don't. Bialy and Snacks fall to his hand, leaving Pasha in the 1v2 now. Flashes out, doesn't go off the back of it. Smart move, as that didn't actually connect towards Mike S. And now those 2 left on the retake. Pasha, how are you going to work this? Can you isolate those 2 1v1s?
Yeah. Well, Mike and Crystal taking their sweet time. They're ramming right in to the bomb site right now. Mike, though, he's taking the right angle, just waiting for a potential T to peek that corner. Exactly what happens. And that's going to be map point right now for Penta.
Yeah, this is lovely to watch. This is such a turnaround from what we saw on the first map. These were all the things we were asking to see from Penta, you know, nicely playing off the back, reading into the opponent, good rotations, good timing, you know, these sort of things that just pay off so well. And Penta have really come up with it. Their T side was thoroughly impressive as well. So Virtus.Pro left reeling off the back of it with merely 10 rounds against the 15 of Penta.
Yeah, I mean, it all became problematic for them. They won the first with a nice push into the B bombs and then losing the round afterwards. It's really what the downward spiral happened for them. Penta just had a lockdown and making the right place, having the right emphasis, or the emphasis on the right bomb side, I should say, at the right time.
Absolutely.
Now, look at this limited amount of grenades for Virtus.Pro as well. They have a Molotov and 3 smokes, essentially, to play with.
We've got to make it count now.
Not many options for them.
No, absolutely limited. 3 smokes, 1 molly, as said. Not being gifted any opportunities. You can see Penta just hitting the brakes here, saying, no, 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 no. Okay, Taz going to use his smoke towards mid. Can imagine that goes towards connector. Going to boost up off the back of it. And now molly towards vent as well. So they're trying to get some sort of presence towards mid. They pulled 3 players towards A. Snacks could be in a really nice position to offset this, but we'll see. Look at this double stack towards A main as well. If they try and go A, that could be a disaster, but still no real commitment. 47 seconds, Virtus.Pro working through mid here, but not fully going in on either of the sites just yet. 40 seconds though, and as we pointed out, nothing to play with. This becomes tricky, and the CT side have, what, 3 mollies left, and the slow play across mid. An easy sitter for Mike S to hit. Virtus.Pro gonna have to pick up the pace. You've got 30 seconds left. And there's 2 players pushed forward in towards A. Awkward positioning, which could actually cost Penta this round, but the time is of the essence now. Stefan's isolated. Can he do anything here? Can he slow down that plant? The bomb's in the hands of Bialy, and he's gonna do everything he can to cause issues here for Virtus.Pro, and he knows he's doing well. Mike S, though, is the one to find Bialy. That's the bomb gone. 10 seconds now, and Taz is the last man to fall. Crystal picks it up, and Penta pick up Cash as a whole. Brilliant game from them after the first absolutely, landslide victory for Virtus.Pro on Cobble. Came back incredibly well.
Totally unexpected, obviously, but I guess Cash definitely is, out of these maps, would suit their playstyle so much more.
Yeah.
Something the guys were talking about on the desk too. I mean, just the aggressiveness they can display is just more fruitful on a map like Cash.
Yeah, it worked
It's
out.
very
And
simple.
well, I think, as said, the analysis desk did have a couple of win conditions they were discussing if they wanted to come into Cash and do anything with this one. So I can imagine they actually enjoy talking through this. So guys, take it away.
Thank you, Penzi and Natu. I don't know if I can really agree with Natu saying this was the moist match of the week, but it definitely started to heat up there in towards the second map. Keep it together. Keep it together. And we did see Penta actually much better performance, guys. That's kind of putting it lightly here. This is not an expected result.
Definitely not, and I think it all started in the first half. I mean, where things started going wrong for VP. They lost both pistol rounds in this game actually, and you know they started coming back after that initial 3-0 deficit, but then they got a bit, I don't know, complacent, a bit reckless. They had a couple of rounds where they had the advantage. They had the 5v4 round, then the 3v2 round when Taz was in the B bomb side, the third player in, and for some reason he kept challenging instead of just playing it a bit more defensively and buying time for his teammates. That was a really important round because they were low on economy. After that, they were forced into a buy with only pistols and armor, then forced to an eco, and in the end it was 8-7, but it could have been an even bigger lead for VP.
Yeah, you saw actually, we can see Penta actually winning some clutch situations. There were no real blunder rounds for them. They weren't losing the 1v4s. The morale was high. Crystal in the first half especially was really lighting it up, getting them a lot of entries to the bomb site. So overall, it's a much better performance. And I didn't expect to see that after what we saw on Cobble. I thought, okay, these guys are done. There's no way they'd be coming back from this. But as we explained before, this actually suits their playstyle a lot better. You can see they've got a lot more freedom to actually work the picks at the start of the rounds. And the CT half especially, we saw that aggressiveness going towards B storage, going towards Squeaky Door, for example, and finding picks. And they're successfully getting them as well. They weren't throwing away these advantageous positions. Once they got their first pick, they were happy to fall back. And that's one of the most important things about Cash, is actually using the advantage you have and actually capitalizing on them. A lot of teams will struggle to get that initial pick and then just not have the discipline to fall back to the bomb site, set up the crossfires. And Penta are actually doing a very good job of that. They knew they're probably the weaker team in terms of the firepower. So when you have these advantages, you correctly set yourself up and give yourself the best percentage chance of winning. And that was the deciding factor going into this one.
It's interesting to see this kind of these two facets of Penta, I guess, when they're on that CT side and they're sort of forced to sit back and wait, like a map like Cobblestone will make you do.
Yeah.
They get a little bit, I guess, stir crazy, a little bit nervous, and it seems that Virtus.Pro were able to sort of, you know, push onto them pretty easily. But when we see them now on a map like Cash, where they have a bit more freedom, they can actually even orchestrate some aggression on the CT side, like you guys pointed out. They're much more comfortable with that. I mean, the last couple of rounds are a good example of Virtus.Pro not being really sure where their in was in a lot of these rounds. You saw that last round as well. They just very leisurely or very slowly made their way in towards mid. Now, this is what Penta preferred to do by the looks of things. They enjoyed having that mid control given across by Virtus.Pro. And when Taz did push deep, every time there was the setup there, the double smokes, the double mollies, and the flash outside the door to catch them here. So how do you diagnose Virtus.Pro's issues there? Was it purely that early aggression that stumped them and slowed them up to the point where they couldn't execute on any of these sites? Because those last few rounds, VP were very uncertain about how to tackle the map.
I think they will definitely be disappointed in themselves in how they perform in the second half, in their decision making more than anything else, right? Because you could see that once they get mid control, VP know what they want to do, right? They have exits from that, they have set smokes that they can use, they have the ways to get into the bomb site, but their decision making in post plant or in the, you know, leading up to the plant itself was what cost them the game in the end. Pretty much you could see even towards the end of the game where they were in a 4v3, they get pretty much into an empty A bomb site, but then Tassin manages to get 2 kills from forklift, shooting them in the back. No one is holding that position where it's pretty likely the player might try and sneak in. Mike Cass gets another kill long range with the AWP, and in a matter of 2 seconds, a 4v3 turns into a 1v3 for, I think it was Pasha at that point in time, or a 1v2. And you know, in those types of situations, that's something you wouldn't expect from VP. You would expect them to be on point. This pistol round that we're seeing as well, it was really cool. It was something we don't see very often, smoking off that left part of the site, going through mid, planting in the smoke. But, you know, I think it was 3 players going towards CT. You should at least have one watching through the smoke for a flank.
So it's really interesting that Virtus.Pro are essentially off the front foot able to execute and actually get the bomb down, but in the post plant situation where they're falling apart. Is this laziness? Is this them not just checking all the boxes that you need to have a successful hold, Henry?
It's difficult. On Cash, it's very difficult to diagnose, right? Sometimes it just comes down to hitting the shots. Like, especially on the A side, there's a lot of long-range situations. If you're facing as a T, if you're off feeling the zone, it's definitely viable to jump off a fork, for example, and go for those long-range shots. But it has seemed like Penta were very efficient at actually pinching the bomb site together as well, actually coming in and trading at the right times. Instead of they took like that last round as a perfect example. They had the advantage actually facing at different times. When one person gets a kill, he's switching out, taking the attention away. Mike Hess is coming in for the AWP. Mike Hess is actually a very influential factor on that second half as well. I think it was Tarson that got the majority of the kills, but Mike Hess on the AWP was quite versatile as well, finding those initial kills and actually rotating to smarter positions as well. And it seemed like he was actually one of the pivotal factors that won them the later stages of those rounds as well, but just good positioning and good communication between them.
So, gentlemen, that about wraps this one up here. It's a 2-game series split 1-1 between Penta and Virtus.Pro. So, not a terrible entrance to the league here as well. If you do want to recap over the previous games and sort of see how these teams are going to be tracking throughout the season, you can use the Score Esports apps available on iOS and Android devices. You can get them from your respective app stores. Jump on in as well. Plenty of articles on the daily to get your fix of CSGO and general esports action. After the break, we're going to be back with our second match of the night. It's going to be Flipside going up against G2. Another match that we'll definitely be looking to sink our teeth into analysis-wise after the break.